Hello everybody and welcome back to Piazza della Festa, Porto Antico, Genova. We will now go to Simone Reina here in the stadium to make the introductions of the athletes.
Possiamo abbassare il volume? Possiamo anche fermarci.
Ed eccoci. Un altro passo che andiamo a fare dentro la storia del nostro sport. Un altro passo che andiamo a fare dentro una città che ci accoglie. In questi luoghi si è fatta la storia dell'Arrampicata. La Liguria è stato teatro di leggendarie battaglie, di scalatori che hanno anticipato i tempi, che hanno avuto visioni futuristiche, che nel mondo hanno fatto tremare più e più volte le dita e le notti inquiete di molti altri che lontano pensavano di aver scoperto un nuovo livello. Ma non era così. La Liguria è una terra che ha portato agli altari del nostro sport dei grandi talenti, che ha fatto crescere delle grandi leggende e che ancora oggi la roccia di questa terra di fronte al mare rappresenta uno standard unico su tutto il nostro amato pianeta. E allora, signore e signori, oggi qui, celebrando questa competizione dentro il cuore di Genova, stiamo facendo un passo nel futuro, stiamo settando nuovamente uno standard per il nostro sport, stiamo scrivendo nuovamente una pagina di leggenda. E allora tutti insieme, benvenuti alla Coppa Europa Boulder 2024! Sì, Genova, buongiorno a tutti, anzi buonasera, ma il tempo abbiamo detto che è relativo. Andiamo quindi a vedere quelli che sono le atlete che si sono conquistate un ticket in questa finalissima. So, ladies and gentlemen, first finalist for that European Bouldering Cup, already 8th place in the European Youth Cup at her second final, representing Serbia, Milica Mirjanovic. The next athlete have been already bronze and silver medalist in the European Cup, and she's got the second place in the overall European Cup ranking. Ladies and gentlemen, representing Netherlands, Lisa Klem. The next athlete have been already two-time in the top 10 at the European Cup. Ladies and gentlemen, representing France, Anouk Bouffet. And so now here we are, ladies and gentlemen, three-time junior Italian champion, vice Italian champion and vice European youth champion. Ladies and gentlemen, representing Italy, Irina Daziano. The next athlete have been a 5-time gold medalist in European environment, vice European youth champion, 2-time overall European youth champion, and ladies and gentlemen, representing Slovakia, Martina Ursikova. The next athlete have got the 7th place in the European Championships, and she have got the 6th place at the World Championships. Ladies and gentlemen, representing Germany, Roxana Wienand. And now here we are with the next athlete, 3-time European Youth Championship, 5-time gold medalist at the European Cup, 3-time European Youth Cup overall winner, and 2-time bronze medalist at the World Youth Championships. Ladies and gentlemen, representing Spain, Delia Macia Martin. And now here we are with the last, aka the best of the semi-final. Ladies and gentlemen, another gold medalist at the European Youth Camp and another vice European Youth Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, representing Austria, Anna Bolius. And so, athletes, these are your audience. Pubblico di Genova, questi sono i vostri atleti, presentatevi! Thank you, girls. We come back to the ISO and then the competition will start. Ragazzi, ho la pelle d'oca. C'ho la pelle d'oca, ragazzi. Non so se si vede. La nostra Costituzione della Federazione dell'Arrampicata Sportiva Italiana, che è portare lo sport e promuovere lo sport alle persone. E oggi questa è la più grande...
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Piazza delle Feste, Porto Antico, Genova. We have just listened to an incredibly rousing introduction of the athletes by Simone here in Genova. He's a staple of the team and the infrastructure around Italian sport climbing, and he never fails to motivate the audience to support the athletes on the boulders or routes. And we can see now quite a crowd has gathered. People have flooded in from the city around, and we are positioned on a wharf jutting out into Genova Harbour on this beautiful October evening.
Grazie.
We have just observed a minute of silence in the stadium for a member of the FASI team, the Federation of Sport Climbing here in Italy, who sadly passed away in the last month or so. And now we welcome to the mats the first athlete from Serbia, Milja Marjanovic. And immediately making a strong start on these colourful blocks volumes, which have a very obscure pattern actually from a German graffiti artist, as she navigates the area on those volumes that has some texture and starts to establish herself on the black volume with the red screw-ons. Now you can see on the left-hand side of this wall that it's really quite vertical, but there is a groove, or a prow in fact, jutting out to her right as she makes her way to this red volume and tries to pass this arête and make her way to the top of the boulder. That was an excellent first effort. I'm joined here in the commentary booth by Martin Smith. Martin, a previous member of the GB climbing team and who partook in, I think, 5 competitions in Italy in the past, early 2000s.
Yeah, 5, twice in Vieira di Primero, Lecco, Bardonecchia.
Nice.
Yeah, good times.
I'll be aiming to give you the play-by-play of this competition, and Martin will definitely be adding some colour. Sat here in his lilac jumper.
A good start from Milika there. Good first attempt. So the starting holes on this first boulder, it's a relatively straightforward pull on. This is a really good camera angle to see, yeah, no problems pulling on.
Yeah, so these 3 volumes are really unfamiliar for the athletes, I imagine. So it gives some sort of unknown territory to the start of this boulder problem.
Yeah, either side of the third triangle, you could just see in the top of the picture, there's a small screw on either side of the volume. Poor holes, but they are there. Yeah, a couple of dual text screw-on holes.
Really managing the start of this boulder with some relative stability. Yeah, that body position just proving a little bit out of balance.
Yeah, and already under a minute to go. It's an excellent first attempt, but struggling to get back to the high point.
It's remarkable, this 4 minutes really flies. Okay, nice and close to the wall there, managing the hands on the top of that starting volume very well. Nice and close to the wall, keeping her centre of gravity over her feet. Yeah, you can see there the expressions just telling you that she's very on and off in that position, unfortunately, not managing to find stability. And that will be the end of her attempts on that boulder. Just receiving questions on YouTube about my identity. I'm James Blay. I live here in Italy, formerly of Sheffield. I was a student and a climber there for 15 years before moving to Italy for work. And now I live in the beautiful region of Alto Adige in the northeast. So Lisa Clem making her first attempt on this boulder. Slightly different beta there.
Yeah, we saw from Milika a really good flash attempt and then really not making much progress after that.
No, that's
I'm
true.
sure we've all experienced that as a climbers. You have a good flash go and think, okay, I've got this is in the bag, and then after that, it seems to come apart.
Yeah. Yeah, so trying to put the right foot in and sort of drop the knee a little, but that left foot doesn't look sufficient to oppose it. That small left volume on the left is basically slanting away from her and just not providing enough to make an opposition to that drop knee on the right. Let's see if she adjusts the beater for the third attempt. Shifting the hips over nicely. Finding a good, stable, low position, but then as soon as she's shifting onto the toe, yeah, just seems to be putting her out of balance. So Lisa's from Den Haag, and the last competition she competed in was the IFSC World Cup in Prague 2024, late last month. And here she's one of 8 competitors in this final that saw 24 athletes make a start in the semi-final earlier today. So she's already attempted 4 boulders on this wall. So a bit of familiarity with the angles of the wall and the environment. Obviously, potentially a little bit drained from the semis.
That's a good angle to see the foothold is on. It is quite good, but as James said, it's sloping away from you.
Finding a good position in this groove now, with a bit of opposition from the right hand, but yeah, just not sufficient.
Yeah, just a unfortunate foot pop there.
Let's see what she can do with 40 seconds left. Not particularly draining, but draining mentally potentially, trying the same moves and some coming up a little bit short. And unfortunately, her foot just popped there on that attempt. Maybe she's got time for one last go, but let's see.
Yeah, still not secured the zone hold, so Lisa will definitely be pulling back on.
Okay. Left foot a little bit lower on that volume, trying something different, a bit more dynamic, but
yeah, I don't think going dynamic to that position is going to work. Those handholds and the volume are too bad.
okay, some good attempts there, but yeah, this boulder proving tough for the first 2 competitors. Can't really see what her feet are doing from this replay, but you can see how close she's having to get to the wall.
Okay, you could see the heel slipping down. Maybe needed to be changed to a toe at that point.
Okay, we're going to see some first attempts on women's 2 here.
Okay, Malika wasting no time, jumping straight on to make the most of her time.
Well, she stuck that first dyno immediately. She's on really quite a good hold as far as competition holds go now, but she's got to make her way across to the right-hand side of the wall to secure the zone on some quite small crimps.
Yeah, Malika probably one of the taller athletes today in this final, and looking quite stretched out in this position.
Now we welcome the French athlete Anouk Buffet on women's 1, and she's already made a foot transition and is looking to establish herself maybe on one of those screw-ons in red on the edge of that first black volume. Looks like she had some time to play with there. She looked fairly comfortable in that position, but not exactly sure what to do with it. See what she's learned from that attempt. Both of the athletes take a pause now. See if she can repeat her success on that previous attempt. So standing straight up and blindly matching feet, not trying to put a drop knee or an Egyptian, as they're called, in on that right-hand volume, but just trusting the left foot, matching the right. And Anouk, again, looking to find that left foot to give us some more stability in some way, shape or form. Oh, nice. Making those red screw-ons work for the left foot. And she's found herself the zone hold there. And we've got a small screw-on for the left foot as she powers up. Looks like we're going to see a top here. Excellent. Excellent reaction from the crowd. Pleased to see their first top of the evening. Yeah, I think she can be pleased with that. Didn't take too many attempts. Now all our attention's focused to women's 2. And Milka has a good hold with the left and stretching out on those crimps to try and make her way over to the zone hold. But there's a drastic change in the hold size there from the good volume that she makes the initial dyno to into those small holds in black on the sort of prow of the wall.
Yeah, the angle of the wall is quite steep there. Those holds are small, they're positive, but they are very small, those 2 crimps. Okay,
so new beta.
This looks
on women's
very
2.
promising. Okay.
She's powering up towards the top of the wall now.
Oh no, unfortunately she's going to run out of time.
The clock bearing down on her there with 12 seconds left, maybe pressured her to make a move a little bit faster than she might have done. Yeah, unfortunately she hasn't secured a top, but she did get the zone, so that's a nice reward for her trouble.
It'd be interesting to see later if the Spanish athlete reads it in the same manner. When they were reading the boulders prior to the final starting, Malika and the Spanish athlete Gayla were looking at the boulders together. So it'll be interesting to see how Gayla gets on with that boulder, because she'll choose a similar method.
Yeah, the athletes had an observation period, which you may have observed in some of the footage prior to the competition starting. And the athletes effectively are able to assess the boulders together.
Yeah, interesting. Lisa's read that method straight away on boulder 2. And Irina also on boulder 1, looking very strong. Okay, this boulder 2 is not over here.
Incredible from Marina Taziano. And as you can imagine, the Italian crowd here in Genova are on their feet for this Italian athlete. She's found success on that boulder in rapid time. There's still 2:45 left on the clock, and she has already topped women's 1. That is an excellent start to the competition for her.
Into preliminary first place with a flash of boulder 1. Excellent start. I think Lisa's going to have a good rest here before attempt number 2. Following the last move. It's not over though, you've got to press into the top hold.
Just catching a nice highlight here of Irina's flash on women's 1. Excellent. Oh, she's got to be ecstatic with that. Okay.
1 minute 50 left. Yeah, Lisa appears to be running down the clock. She knows what she has to do. But yeah, the last move does look quite tough on this.
Yeah, this is potentially, I mean, it potentially has a crux at the end.
Throughout the whole competition, I feel like there have been a lot of boulders that have been dropped from the last move throughout the men's semi-final and the women's semi-final. So many boulders dropped at the top.
I think there's been clever use of holds at the top of the wall, and maybe not 100% obvious the way in which you should take them. So we've had athletes moving to areas of the hold which effectively aren't the best part given the circumstances, and that can really be a bit of a heartbreaker at the end of a boulder.
Okay, yeah,
so
Lisa's run the clock down to 1 minute, and now going for it.
Stable on those crimps.
Smooth through this. Okay. Okay, she's going for keeping the heel.
Okay.
Ah.
Yeah, it's an excellent heel hook there, or heel placement, but ultimately the wall is bearing down on you, sort of pushing you away from the wall. It's slightly overhanging there, maybe 25, 30 degrees. And so despite the size of the foothold, the poor handholds and the overhanging nature of the wall have sort of just pushed her off there.
Yeah, we'll see how that move pans out as we move on. I feel like it may need to be a toe on there, but because Lisa put the heel on, her body sank down a little bit too much when you need to get high into that final hold to be pushing into it. You don't want to be sinking down, but we'll see. Yeah,
she's low in that position.
Yeah, really low there. Yeah, I think you really need your arm, left arm bent up and into it as much as possible.
So we're going to welcome to the mats Martina Bursikova from Bratislava. Her last comp was the IFSC Youth European Championships in Troyes at the end of September, so the end of last month, where she placed second.
And we're getting a first look at boulder number 3. Starts with a series of layaways. Sorry, undercuts.
Yeah, we're going to be using quite British terminology for holds here, so we hope you've got someone who can translate. So we have a very early low toe hook on women's 2.
Oh, okay, that looks like a much more powerful method the French athlete used there on boulder 2.
And that's Martina progressing nicely here, looking quite stable, taking her time over the movements. This section of the boulder, the finish, yeah, in contrary to the boulders that we've seen elsewhere in the competition, that does seem, I'm not going to say it's a relative formality, but it does seem fairly steady to close that boulder once you've got the red volume. Maybe there is a tenuous moment, but...
although our first athlete out, Malika, did get to that area on her first attempt and didn't top, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Martina dispatched that with very easily.
So, back on women's 2. The French athlete on it. Favouring the toe hook. Sort of read it that way rather than throwing the left heel up and rolling over onto those crimps. But she's got the span for it, so she's made it out to that small right-hand zone crimp.
Okay. Yeah, I think once you have that right-hand crimp, it means the drop into the left hand there. That's taking a lot of energy.
Yep.
I think from what we've seen so far, it does look like the high heel method earlier on is, yeah, more efficient.
Yeah. You can hang a lot of weight off that left heel, can't you?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a real scoop.
Yeah.
And when you're below it with that heel above you, yeah, you can take a lot of weight through the heel by the looks of things.
I like that though, that, you know, we're seeing climbers, seeing different methods.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not one for all, is it?
Okay, Malika making progress on boulder 3, but slapping up and into the no text holds. That's going to be a difficult section on boulder 3.
So Anouk going for the same method again, trying to land that toe hook with a swing.
Yeah, now this dropping this left hand in here.
Yeah, that looks powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's dropped the move. So yeah, that's making it quite physical, and obviously very finger strength dependent, with very little respite in between attempts with this allotted 4-minute time period. We're just going to see a little replay of the Slovakian climber cruise this boulder. Yeah, there's no doubt there, is there? Excellent.
Yeah, excellent climbing from the 17-year-old.
So the next athlete on the mats on women's 1 is Roxana Wienand from Germany, 24 years of age, 162 centimeters tall, and her last appearance was, again, end of September, IFSC World Cup in Prague. She looked particularly good in semi-finals.
Yeah, a very powerful looking climber.
Yeah, climbed very confidently, actually. And so we have the best progress so far on women's 3 here. And the volume, the black volume from unit that she has hold of here, both of them have no texture whatsoever, so they're completely smooth. As you can see, her hand sliding down there, but still managing to control the swing.
Wow, did really well to stay on there.
Lisa Clem looking to try and pounce to the last hold.
Oh.
Instead, she tried to lock it, which is a great bet if you've got the power for it. Really deep lock there on the right hand, though. I mean, it's a good edge, but it's not amazing. And your left foot has 0 texture.
Yeah, I think she probably felt she had to go in control though with the hold being blocked. If the hold at the top, the red volume at the top, had not been there, throw a bit more dynamically, and you don't have to be quite as accurate. But yeah, because accuracy was required on that last move. Okay.
Italian athlete making incredible progress on this boulder. Again, with plenty of time left to make the top. She's on a toe, so you're not really able to sit on it the same way you would be able to sit on a heel. But she's managed to find stability nonetheless and top the boulder.
2 for 2 for Irina
Taziano.
Crowd is going absolutely crazy.
Yeah, fantastic to see a local athlete doing so well immediately. Really putting the pressure on the other athletes. Roxana Wienand making good progress here and working her feet across to give her stability for the top hold, just to be sure. Yeah, this competition's on.
Yeah, the tops are coming thick and fast now.
One minute 20 left on the clock. See how Lisa approaches this one. She's already found herself one move from the top and from securing or closing the boulder, let's say.
Yeah, 2 powerful boulders back to back. Boulders 2 and 3. So taking plenty of rest before what will be, no doubt, a final attempt.
So doubling undercling into a sort of undercling pinch with the left hand for the zone. And now we're into the no texture section in these unit volumes.
Yeah. This screw on hold in the blue volume is quite positive.
Yeah.
Whoa.
She just held it again.
Yeah, and then you can see it needs to be positive, that hold, because that left hand just slides down.
Absolutely.
Great effort.
Managing to find some great stability with the feet beneath her there. But we're just going to switch back to a highlight of the Italian athlete making the top on women's 2.
Yeah, I mean, you could
first
see
top of the evening.
You see the match here. just quite a physical match here.
Incredible on the Achilles and on the foot, honestly.
Oh, you can see her body's really in tension there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to sit on the foot in that...
She's absolutely pumped about that, though.
Absolutely. So, we can welcome the first Spanish athlete.
The only Spanish athlete.
Yep. That's true.
I mean, we have 8 athletes here from 8 different countries, which is, it's fantastic.
So Giulia Martin, only 16 years of age. Last competition was a youth competition, the European Championships, at the end of last month. And she looked really good on the slab in semi-finals, or the vertical wall in semi-finals, let's say.
Yeah, so incredible. She's only 16. Came second at the first round of the European Cup in Austria back at the end of April.
And meanwhile, we've got Martina looking to make a top on women's 2.
Oh, wow, looking... wow.
Honestly, that was much more comfortable than the previous top.
Yeah. So that's 2 tops.
Managing to get a weight through a toe incredibly well.
Yeah.
I don't fancy my chances of doing that.
That's 2 flashes for Martina. Great start.
So Giulia back on this vertical wall. Managing the starting positions really well. Looking quite comfortable low down, but then that moves just very off and on. And now we also have some action on women's 4, which is obscured from our view, but you can see that on the extreme right of your screen. Boulder in purple and green volumes, which transitions from right to left. But now we're back with Giulia. Ah, nice. She's caught that screw on the top of the upper black volume, and she's looking for the zone, which she gets in a very stable fashion. Nice. Sinking her weight outright. Managing to get the compression between those 2. And yeah, just a matter of closing the boulder and making that final move. Excellent. So the action remains on women's 3 and 4.
Quite a dynamic last boulder.
Yeah, that's our first glimpse of it, really. Just been caught off camera on a couple of occasions. As we switch our attention to Anouk, pulling on these underclings. She's got the first left one and the right, and now she makes the zone.
Okay, Malika.
Very assertive climbing here. And immediately reading the sort of opposing right toe on and left toe hook. That's obviously giving the athletes enough opposition. Wow, and she tries to catch that.
That's a very tough move, that shoulder move, with the left hand being zero texture.
Yeah, if you lose the left hand to hold that one arm swing on that crimp and to reel it back in, would really ask something.
I think her left hand needed to be much further down the hold. I think it was too high.
Yeah.
Judging from when Lisa made it through that move, her hand was much lower.
No time for another attempt, unfortunately. That's the 4 minutes of the allotted time passed. Now we have the last athlete from Austria stepping out onto the mats, Anna Borlius from Vienna, 16 years of age. And the athletes do come out in reverse order, so she qualified first for this final.
Yeah, qualified first in the semi-final with 3 tops, which was a really good effort considering in qualification Anna was 20th. She went from 20th into first place. However, it's a new round.
We're back with Irina Daziano on women's 3. And she moves very quickly through those holds. I think that could be a really effective method. Let's see if she can make it work on her next go as we switch our attention to women's 2. Okay. So using the left heel method to take a lot of weight before making a long lockup.
Yeah, that certainly seems to be the way, the high heel. Okay.
Honestly, she looks good here, getting higher than any of the athletes, swapping feet even.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
that could have worked for her. Getting a much higher body position rather than sitting on the toe. She extended her leg and even looked to swap feet and load the right foot before making the match for the top hold.
Yeah, it just goes to show how impressive a top it was for Martina. I mean, she made that top move kind of look trivia.
Yeah, unbelievable. Maybe there's been something like that in training recently, or maybe it just came to her naturally. Excellent. Using the heel to control the finish there. Anna Bolios looking good on women's 1 there, keeping the heat on the other competitors. Of course, they can all hear the reaction of the other after the other boulders, so they've got an idea where they all are. As we switch to Arena here in the middle of the wall on women's 3. Onto the smooth volumes, catches the crimp, but yeah, too much energy heading rightwards, carries her off the wall.
Again, perhaps slightly too high with the left hand on the first of the no text holds.
Okay.
I think if you see when the right hand catches the red crimp, as the left hand slides down, it goes over a slight bump in the angle change in the hold. Where when Lisa committed to that move, her hand was much lower, and it still slid down, but there wasn't that bump, there wasn't that change of angle in the hold.
As we have 1 minute left on the clock, Roxana looking to top this boulder now, and she has swapped feet. There is a...
Okay.
That isn't...
We'll see a top here. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that top holds a jug, really.
Yeah, the last purple hold that Lisa grabbed there is round, but it goes back a long way. And if you stick that hold, yeah, you're going to the top. I'd be really surprised if anybody dropped it there.
Let's see if Irina can change her methodology. Oh, whoa, she gets nice and high. Oh, incredible, incredible. She looks almost confused or surprised that she made the top of the boulder in that method. Or could it be that she expected to top it previously? One or the other.
Brilliant. Oh, well, that was my idea on the pin then.
She's done it with a very few seconds left there.
Yeah, and the left hand stayed high.
Yep.
Yeah, I think she just seemed to be higher in her shoulders.
Yep. She managed to jump.
Have a look at this. Yeah, just much higher, wasn't she?
Yeah, she gets higher. Her shoulders are higher.
Yeah.
She's almost in between the two volumes with her shoulders.
Yeah.
So easy to grate the opposition, yeah.
Shaking their heads to say, yeah. what was I doing?
Why didn't I do that 3 goes ago?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. Performing in front of a home crowd. 3 boulders, 3 tops.
Athletes all take a moment to brush their holds before they pull onto these blocks. Not height dependent, I wouldn't say at all. That move's worked really well for all the competitors so far. A little bit of an unstable position, dynamic move out of it. Julia reading this one in this method where you span to the zone hold as a crimp, and she's not changed the foot there.
Wow.
But she's managed to hold it.
Very strong.
No need for the heel.
Yeah, as predicted. Gila read the boulder with Malika and the same method. Yeah. But really making it work. And okay, yeah. Yeah, that last move is immediately grabbing a shoulder.
And then we just saw a top on women's 3, which was just off screen for us. And now we're on women's 4 with the French athlete, Antico. So the first position is undercuts with a couple of footholds outright. And then the next 2 volumes are actually inverted, so they only expose a very smooth surface to the athletes to stand on, so making those very insecure, and hence forcing this sort of dynamic nature of the next section of the boulder. She's trying to actually stop on that smooth surface of the green hold.
Yeah. I mean, that's not impossible. That the bottom part of the wall there is vertical, and it protrudes from the wall quite a good distance.
Giulia looking comfortable here, chalking up before this final. She knows what she's dealing with here. She's got to find that body position and make this match work. And she's pulled really high into it. I feel like all of the athletes are missing the potential for a foot to hand sort of on the right hand side, or a potential drop knee on the right hand side. I wonder if that could work. Only time will tell. So we just have the women's final leaderboard up on the screens at the moment. Martina Bursakova in first place at present. As Giulia pulls back on. No, but she's just lost it on those crimps. Yeah, her shoulder seems to be bothering her. Maybe that's enough on that boulder for her. You repeat the same moves, you're stressing the same exact muscle fibers. Honestly, after a few goes, if you've got any issues, it's really going to expose it. Both athletes calling it.
Stiamo vivendo la notte del giaguaro, perché Irina Laziano tanti anni fa abbiamo cominciato a chiamarla il giaguaro per le sue doti arrampicatorie e di spirito pungente e graffiante.
Seeing a repeat here of Martina on Boulder
3. Really strong top there.
Yeah, Martina's dominating this competition so far. 3 boulders and 3 flashes.
And we've got Irina Daziano on the far side on women's 4. If she could top this, I mean, she flashes that first dynamic move to the zone. This looks very promising. Oh, wow. Wow. Looks like she was just going to leap through the entire boulder there. So plenty of time for another good attempt. Another few good attempts if she needs it, but I doubt she will. Roxana Vinan back on the wall, toe hook in the zone, and established on these smooth volumes. She's got to make the jump. Fantastic. And she immediately matches the crimp for security, and she's made the lock to the finishing hold in a fairly stable fashion, I would say. She's pumped. We've got a quite a tight competition here now. Irina's zone on that first go has bumped her into first place. So we have an Italian athlete here in Genova sitting in first place as she looks to try and top the final boulder.
Absolutely flying through the start of that boulder.
Yeah. Yeah, she's got its number now.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Fantastic. Again, surprised with her own performance, but I don't know why. She's climbed so well there. Phenomenal. Porto Antico erupts for the local athlete. We're opposite the historic Piazza della Festa here on a wharf jutting out into Genova harbour. We've got a sea breeze making its way through the building, which has open sides, and we have 21 degrees and 59% humidity, so a little bit more moist than it was this morning. It was around 50% this morning, but still fairly good climbing conditions, I would say. Especially with that breeze giving the perceived temperature, or dropping the perceived temperature by a good few degrees. So 1 minute left on the clock on women's 2. We have our finalist from Vienna in Austria who qualified first, pulling on to women's 2. And she's made it.
Yeah, not reading the heel hook method.
No.
Going for what's no doubt the more physical method here.
Yeah. I mean, those footholds that she's using outright really sort of catch your attention, don't they? I mean, it seems like you can imagine just focusing your attention on those and not considering any other method.
Yeah.
You know. And with 14 seconds left, she's calling it quits.
I'd imagine that's potentially the way the route setters envisaged it.
Absolutely, but I saw them. I watched a bit of the route setting this week, actually. I definitely saw them using the heel method towards the top, so I can't imagine they wouldn't have seen that during the middle of the boulder. But there can't always be one solution. So with that performance, Arina, the Italian athlete, wins the competition. Or does she?
No. We have Martina. Martina now on boulder 4 has flashed the first 3 boulders. So depending on how this goes.
Ooh.
Don't get ahead of yourself, James.
I'm getting way ahead of myself here, aren't I?
Way too excited. Calm down.
This is calm for me. You know full well.
Well, I know full well. This is very calm for you, James.
Okay. Back on boulder 4. Can Martina spoil the show?
Not reading that how the route setters intended, but possibly make it work.
Confident she's got this boulder within her abilities, but it's how she adapts in the 2.5 minutes that remain, and she's adapted very well.
Yeah,
immediately switching the beater and making the leap out left.
This looks promising.
Oh dear, yeah.
Here we go.
The local crowd are holding their heads. But congratulations to Martina. That was an incredible send. Nearly a clean sheet. 3 attempts on that last boulder, but up until that point, she'd only needed 3 attempts to close the previous 3 boulders. So incredible performance from her.
Yeah, barring any appeals.
That was an incredible performance, has to be said.
Yeah, from a climber so young, only 17, just looked very unfazed by anything there.
Yeah. Now we're back with Giulia Martin. Looking comfortable on these smooth holds. I like that switching to the higher one with the right foot, just to give her an extra few centimeters before exploding out to the crimp, the red crimp that's screwed onto the blue volume, which is the sort of penultimate shape on the wall.
Again, grabbing her right shoulder. Seems to be bothering her since boulder number 2 when she was pressing into the undercut at the top. Seems to be shaking that arm a little bit.
So these athletes have all climbed or attempted to climb 6 boulders in qualification, which took place yesterday, and then 4 boulders in the semi-finals, and now 4 final boulders. So it's an incredibly physical couple of days for them. But Julia's really powering through this section despite that. Unfortunately, a foot slip has stopped her in her tracks there, because she actually looked really stable in that situation. But yeah, she's decided to call it with 30 seconds to go. I don't blame her if she's struggling a bit with the shoulder.
Yeah, we saw on Irina on that boulder, when she did stick the move, she was really high on her shoulders. And that's what's needed for that move.
Just resetting the clock. Another 4 minutes for these athletes. Oksana going to get stuck into women's 4. And Anna Borlius turning her attention to women's 3. Oh, excellent start there. She seems to have read that, what's required from her immediately. And Anna just pulling up into these undercuts with relative stability. Let's see how she gets on in the no texture section of this on those unit macros. Okay, yeah, excellent footwork to put her in good stead for this move. Oh, that looked really good. I'm surprised she lost that left hand, honestly. She's a powerful climber. She seemed well established on the high point of that smooth volume, which has fared well for all of the people who've sent it in that manner. So I think with 2:40 left, there's potential for her to close this boulder after what she's learned from that. Let's see. So on the right-hand side of the wall, we see from a distance the German athlete making that dynamic move to the zone hold here. I don't see. I mean, yeah, okay. It's tricky, but that move doesn't seem like another crux or another move of a similar level to what we've seen in some of the other boulders.
Yeah, it has been dropped, but certainly when you secure those 2 holds, and yeah, the purple hold on the left, the boulder's essentially over.
Whereas this boulder's more power-based. Yeah, depending on some serious finger strength to hold that red crimp.
Just sinking in the shoulders.
Yeah.
The hand, the hand's in the right place, but yeah, sinking in the shoulders and not able to maintain the pressure.
Maybe she can generate a bit more height on her next go. Well, we have a really packed house here in front of us. Seems like the focal point of the city right now. Opposite the Genova Aquarium, which is billed as being the 2nd largest in the world. As darkness falls around us, we're not going to be blinded by that Italian sunshine any longer. Relatively cool temperatures now with that breeze as Anna powers through this middle section. She was listening to you. Chose a slightly lower hand position with the left hand, but unfortunately just couldn't find the energy to explode up for that penultimate hold.
Yeah, and also the number of attempts that Anna had on that boulder then, I think it's a big ask after that number to
draining, isn't it?
To be sticking a powerful move like that.
Yeah, for recovery you need minutes and minutes.
Ideally. Yeah, you can get away on some of the jumping boulders or the slabs to have multiple goals if you're falling early, but on the power boulders, if you're getting quite high, you're really limited on the number of attempts you can have and have a realistic chance of topping the boulder.
Sure.
But it's the third boulder for why not give it everything?
Yeah, absolutely. So Giulia stepping on women's 4. Needing to give those starting footholds a bit of a clean. You can hear Simone blasting away at the crowd, motivating people to support the athletes. Giulia really questioning her methodology here as she sort of presses high into that starting position. She's not really finding a solution that works for her just yet. With 2:40 left. See her almost searching for a new method after pulling on there. Okay. Did you notice who she was reading the problem with?
Yeah, the Serbian athlete, Milica.
Okay.
Yeah, she seemed to read all 4 boulders herself and Milica.
Okay.
I think that's what was great about 8 different nations.
Yeah.
If there's, say, for example, 2 French climbers in the final, they're obviously going to team together and work out the boulders, but not the case in this final.
You can see on the far side the athletes who've completed their final session just looking on as Giulia makes these attempts. Oh, and she...
Okay, that was better.
Yeah, much better attempt. She's still got time. Oh, nice. She's managed to sort of backhand that hold.
Yeah.
Palm the zone to control the swing.
Yeah, that was quick thinking.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic.
Okay, we're in.
Yeah.
There we go.
Really pleased for her there.
Excellent.
Excellent. Yep.
Yeah, good finish to her round. Good to finish with the top. Unfortunately, that's not enough for a podium position, but a great competition nonetheless.
So we will have the men's final after this women's final concludes on a set of 4 different boulders. So this wall will be stripped and the boulders will be replaced with a new series for the men's finalists, of which there are 8 who progressed from the 24 semi-finalists that competed this morning.
Okay, our final athlete and our final boulder.
Okay.
Yeah, Anna's left ankle is quite heavily taped. I'm not sure how much it is bothering her. Just when she fell off then, she decided to just fall into the mat with her whole body, not try and land on her feet.
Yeah. Soft matting, it sort of lends itself to doing that.
Yes.
Sort of kill the energy with your body and not depending just on your lower limbs. Just visualising the moves before she pulls on there. And using that towel to clean the shoes. Make sure there's no excess chalk on her shoes, which would impede the friction on her footwear. Just a little glance at the clock. She's got plenty of time for attempting this start sequence. Wow, really throwing over the right hand. You're going to see the other athletes encouraging her a little bit on this final boulder. They seem to be discussing the beta of the boulders gone past. As Anna really throws for that. If you are intended to kill your momentum using that left foot, then maybe she is reluctant to do that, and she's trying to find another method that doesn't involve stabbing the green volume with her left foot. Oh, she's gone for it there. She's really gone for it there.
Yeah, there was a boulder in the semi-final that had a similar move where you jumped onto your left foot, and Anna chose to jump onto her right foot, and she made it work, but it does make you wonder whether that's playing on her mind.
Absolutely.
Well, it might not be bothering her at all.
No.
Sometimes it might just be there as a bit of a precaution.
She's trying the potential static method or more static method that Giulia was attempting earlier when she was puzzling over this first move. Yeah, these movements just not working for her at the moment. See if she can have a couple more attempts. Yeah. Closing in on the last 30 seconds of her competition. Yeah, that's particularly tough. Just not generating enough movement leftwards to establish on that hold, but the crowd really getting behind her for her last attempt. 15 seconds left. Oh wow. Close to sticking it, but that barn door just pulling her off. Oh, excellent effort, but excellent comp for this Austrian athlete. Decent finals. Almost a clean sheet for Martina. With Irina Daziano coming in second and Roxana Wiener from Germany coming in third. So now Simone here in the stadium will announce the winners in reverse order. Roxana Wiener from Germany in third place. Irina Daziano from Italy coming in second. With this crowd of Genova going crazy. And finally our winner, Martina Bercikova from Slovakia. Fantastic. Fantastic finals. And don't forget we've got the men's competition coming up next. So just had this brief flower ceremony. I don't believe we will have any athlete interviews until the very end of the competition. So if you're with us now, stay tuned or switch YouTube links to enjoy the men's final, which will be coming up shortly.